Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff responds to Aryna Sabalenka over not fair French Open final claim. Coco Gauff said Aryna Sabalenka's suggestion that she would have lost the French Open final to Iga Swiatek was not fair, after the American won her first Roland Garros title by beating the world number one. In difficult, windy conditions, Gauff fought from a set down to defeat Sabalenka 6-7, 6-2, 6-4, and win her second Grand Slam title on the Paris clay. However, a disgruntled Sabalenka criticized her own performance, in which she made 70 unforced errors, and said, "It was the worst final I have ever played." Sabalenka had defeated Swiatek in the semifinals to end the Pole's 26-match winning run at Roland Garros, but could not get the job done as she lost to Gauff for her second Grand Slam final defeat in a row. "That hurts," Sabalenka said, "especially when you've been playing really great tennis during the whole week, when you've been playing against a lot of tough opponents, Olympic champion Qin Wenjing, Iga, and then you go out, and you play really bad. Like I think Iga. I think she would go out today, and she would get the win. It just hurts. Honestly hurts. I've been playing really well, and then in the last match, go out there and perform like I did. That's hurt." To add to an extraordinary press conference, Sabalenka added, "She was hitting the ball from a frame. Somehow magically the ball lands in the court. It felt like a joke, honestly, like somebody from above was there laughing, like, let's see if you can handle this." Sabalenka also said, "I think she won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes." Gauff said that while she respected both Sabalenka and Swiatek, she could not agree with Sabalenka's assessment and said that she did a better job of dealing with the conditions. "I mean, I don't agree with that," Gauff replied as she appeared at her press conference next to the French Open trophy. "I'm here sitting here as the champion. No shade to Iga or anything, but last time I played her I won in straight sets. I don't think that's a fair thing to say, because anything can really happen. The way Aryna was playing the last few weeks, she was the favorite to win. So I think she was the best person that I could have played in the final. Her being number one in the world was the best person to play. So I think I got the hardest matchup, just if you go off stats alone." Gauff explained how she adjusted her game and handled the conditions to add to her 2023 U.S. Open triumph, which also came against Sabalenka. "It was super tough when I walked on the court and felt the wind because we warmed up with the roof closed," Gauff said. "I was like, this is going to be a tough day. I knew it was just going to be about willpower and mental. It really came down to the last few points. But overall, I'm just really happy with the fight that I managed today. It wasn't pretty, but it got the job done, and that's all that matters." Sabalenka, who also suffered a painful defeat to Madison Keys in the Australian Open final in January, said she had no plans to rewatch the final and will be going on holiday to Greece for tequila, gummy bears, and swimming. No, I already have a flight booked to Mykonos and alcohol, sugar," Sabalenka said. "I just need a couple of days to completely forget about this crazy world and this crazy. If I could swear, I would swear right now. But this crazy thing that happened today, I think everyone understands. I'm just trying to be very polite right now. But you know, there's no other word that could describe what just happened today on the court. But yeah, tequila, gummy bears, and I don't know, swimming, being like the tourist for a couple of days." The dust had barely settled on the red clay of Roland Garros 2025 when the tennis world found itself embroiled in a whirlwind of post-match commentary, subtle jabs, and a brewing rivalry between two of the sport's most formidable women, Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka. The French Open final had ended in a dramatic three-set victory for 21-year-old Gauff, who added her second Grand Slam title to her collection with a composed, tactical win over Sabalenka. The American prodigy, often heralded as the future of women's tennis, had outlasted the Belarusian powerhouse in a match that spanned nearly 3 hours, filled with momentum shifts, fist pumps, and emotional roars. But the post-match headlines weren't all celebratory. In her press conference, Aryna Sabalenka, still visibly emotional and frustrated, made a remark that instantly stirred controversy. "I'm not saying she didn't deserve it, But some of the calls, the wind, the conditions, it just wasn't fair. It wasn't a normal match. There were moments where I felt the momentum was taken away, not by her, but by everything else. To some, it sounded like an emotional venting session. To others, it seemed like a thinly veiled dig at Gauff's triumph. And Coco Gauff. She heard it loud and clear. The calm after the storm. 2 days later, Gauff appeared on the Tennis Roundtable, a post-Grand Slam discussion program that mixes analysis with insight and a sprinkle of drama. Dressed in a crisp white blouse and her signature braided hair tied back, Coco didn't shy away from addressing Sabalenka's comments. She leaned into the mic, smiled softly, and responded with the poise of a veteran. Look, I have a lot of respect for Aryna. She's a great competitor, and we've had some incredible battles. But tennis is a game played outdoors. Conditions are part of the sport. The wind was the same for both of us. The line calls. That's part of tennis, too. I don't think anything was unfair. I just think I played better when it mattered most. It wasn't defiant. It wasn't defensive. It was Coco Gauff, measured, mature, and sharp. But then she added a line that sent tennis Twitter into a frenzy. Maybe next time, we talk less about what's fair and more about what's next. The echoes of a rivalry. While the tennis world had long celebrated the rise of Iga Swiatek, Aryna Sabalenka, and Coco Gauff as the defining trio of the new WTA era, the undercurrent of rivalry between Sabalenka and Gauff had become increasingly tense. Gauff, with her tactical IQ, speed, and ability to absorb and redirect pace, had slowly become Sabalenka's tactical kryptonite. In their last 5 meetings, Gauff had won 4, each one a chess match of patience versus power. Sabalenka, known for her explosive baseline game and emotional intensity, often wore her heart on her sleeve. Gauff, by contrast, carried herself like a composed storm. But beneath that calm lay an undeniable fire, one that had only grown brighter since winning her first slam at the 2023 U.S. Open. Sabalenka's not fair comments didn't just highlight a moment of personal disappointment. They pulled back the curtain on a growing tension in the locker room, one where the old guard of power hitters was feeling increasingly displaced by the new era's athletes who combined flair, fitness, and finesse. Gauff's inner circle responds. Coco Gauff, Coco's father and longtime coach, was asked about Sabalenka's comments while attending a junior tournament in Florida. He chuckled before offering his thoughts. If winning in tough conditions isn't fair, then tennis has never been fair. Coco grew up playing on cracked hard courts in Miami, in the wind, in the rain, in the heat. She didn't complain then, and she's not going to start now. That's who she is. Meanwhile, Rennie Stubbs, Gauff's part-time mentor and analyst, tweeted, Aryna's frustration is understandable, but Coco beat her fair and square. Maybe it's time the tennis world stopped questioning her wins and started understanding why she wins. Sabalenka clarifies, or does she? 3 days after the firestorm, Sabalenka took to Instagram to post a message to her fans. First, congrats to Coco. She played amazing. I was emotional after the match, and maybe said more than I should have. I always fight hard, and sometimes the disappointment gets the best of me. I didn't mean to take anything away from her. She earned it. Every bit of it. The message came with a smiling photo of her and Gauff hugging at the net after the match, one that now seemed more loaded than it did in real time. Still, the damage had been done. Fans had taken sides, analysts were dissecting every word, and the narrative of Coco versus Aryna had solidified into tennis's latest must-watch rivalry. The bigger picture, a changing of the guard. Beyond the headlines and social media noise, the exchange between Gauff and Sabalenka was symbolic of something much larger. Tennis, especially women's tennis, was in transition. Gone were the days when power alone ruled the WTA courts. The new elite, Swiatek, Gauff, Zheng Qinwen, and Mira Andreeva, played a hybrid game. Strategy, athleticism, composure under pressure, and adaptability were the new currency of dominance. Gauff's response wasn't just a personal defense. It was a statement on behalf of a new generation who refused to be undermined by excuses or nostalgia. A Wimbledon showdown on the horizon. As the grass court season loomed, Fans salivated at the possibility of a Wimbledon rematch between Gauff and Sabalenka. Gauff, now one of the few women to have won on both hard and clay at the slam level, had her eyes set on a third jewel in her crown. In a pre-Wimbledon interview, she was asked if she was preparing for another Sabalenka clash. Her answer? I prepare for everyone, but I'll be ready. Always. That's the Coco Gauff the world had come to know. Not just a tennis player, but a tactician, a competitor, and a voice. And if Aryna Sabalenka needed any reminder of what fair looked like, she'd find it waiting for her across the net, holding a racket, ready to earn it again. Legacy in the making. The 2025 French Open final will be remembered not only for its thrilling tennis, but for the conversation it sparked. Coco Gauff didn't just win title. She claimed space. She reminded the world that fairness isn't granted, it's fought for. And sometimes, the fairest thing about sport is that it shows you, without mercy, who was better that day. Sabalenka may still believe the day was stacked against her, but Gauff, she made sure the scoreboard and the silence of her racket did all the talking.